Do you think there should be a new criminal investigation?
Well, look, I don't think I should speak for the city of Philadelphia and why they chose to make the decision they did. There's nothing I wanted more than to give these parents some finality, some answers, some clarity. And we received more evidence, more information during the course of our investigation that sadly didn't show what they wanted it to show, but actually rather pointed to more data, more information that pointed toward. I'm hopeful that as this process goes forward, if any new information comes to bear, that it immediately be shared with the Chester County District Attorney and allow the DA there to, to conduct an investigation of that new material.
Hello everybody, just a quick update about the Ellen Greenberg murder case. Marlon Osborne, the pathologist who performed the autopsy on Ellen Greenberg, changed her manner of death from unaliving herself back to murder this year. Thankfully, Ellen Greenberg's parents avoided a civil trial and they were awarded an undisclosed amount of money from the city of Philadelphia. With support and public interest, this investigation is still ongoing and it has been moved to Chester County. Let's take a look at the conflict of interest that has to do with Governor Shapiro. One of the conflicts of interest on Samuel Goldberg's side is that Josh Shapiro, he was the Attorney General for the state of Pennsylvania, and James Schwartzman, who is the judge and Samuel Goldberg's uncle. Josh Shapiro graduated his high school, a yeshiva high school, in 1991. James Schwartzman's daughter, Kim Schwartzman Kimmel, graduated that yeshiva school in 1988. So they went to the same yeshiva school. So Gavin Fish had discovered this conflict of interest, but just to take it a little bit further, how close James Schwartzman and Josh Shapiro's families actually are. And these are Sam's relatives, and Sam is still free. Kim Schwartzman Kimmel has made donations to Josh Shapiro's run for governor and some of his former political endeavors, Attorney General of Pennsylvania, and her family, the Schwartzmans, has made lots of donations to the Shapiros, according to Gavin Fish. And also, Samuel Goldberg's dad has also made contributions to Josh Shapiro, who is the governor of Pennsylvania. There's definitely a conflict of interest, and I believe there has been a lot of to do about that, and Gavin Fish has done such a great job of emailing the local news stations who've looked into it, and it is one of the conflicts of interest that has led to this case being taken to a different county. I just wanted to talk about some of the Daily Mail's findings, and just to give you an idea of some of the key players in this and why there has been so much runaround with all of the findings in this case since 2011. According to the Daily Mail, the day after Ellen's death, Assistant Philadelphia Medical Examiner Marlon Osborne began Ellen's autopsy at the city morgue. He labeled her stab wounds with the letters beginning with A and he stopped at T. He noted 8 wounds to her chest. They ranged from punctures just 0.2 centimeters deep to the 4-inch final plunge of the still embedded knife. She had 2-inch stab wounds to her stomach and 2.5-inch long gash along her scalp, where 10 wounds from nicks to about 3 inches deep on the back of Ellen's neck. And there were 11 bruises in various stages of resolution on Ellen's right arm, abdomen, and leg. At the end of the autopsy, Osborne weighed all of his observations and reached the manner of death as homicide. Tim Cooney, homicide detective, said Ellen's death was treated as something other than murder that night for several reasons. The apartment door had been locked until broken by Goldberg. He had remained on the scene and was cooperative. There were no signs of an intruder, and the lack of defensive wounds also factored heavily in police's determination. On January 29th, 2011, police spokesperson said that despite the homicide ruling, authorities were leaning toward Ellen's case and looking into mental issues that she might have had. On March 7th of 2011, they changed it back, and I'm guessing that that's because of the police homicide detective Tim Cooney, who was on the scene with Samuel's cousin, K-Man, who is his lawyer, and with ties, speculations of ties to the state's attorney general's office. So the Greenbergs first consulted Cyril H. Wecht, a Pittsburgh area forensic pathologist, in 2012, who concluded Ellen's death was strongly suspicious of homicide. He noted concerns about the locations of the wounds, especially those wounds to the back of the neck. Dr. Wayne K. Ross, another expert the family consulted in 2017, mentions the stab wounds that penetrated the brain. An injury like that, he writes, would lead Ellen to have severe pain, cranial nerve dysfunction, and traumatic brain signs, as well as numbness, tingling, and irregular heartbeat. When interviewed by the Inquirer in 2018, Dr. Lucy Rourke Adams confirmed that she did contract work for the medical examiner's office, but further investigation by the newspaper revealed there was no bill, an invoice, or reports from Rourke Adams for this case. I would conclude that I did not see the specimen in question, although there was a remote possibility that it was shown to me, she wrote the Inquirer. However, I have no recollection of such case. So, Joe Pedraza is the Greenberg's attorney who has filed 2 lawsuits and civil complaints in 2019. Pedraza says new evidence, including information from a deposition from the medical examiner's office, should be enough to change the ruling. Cyril H. Wecht, the forensic pathologist, says, I don't understand how they wrote this off as a blank. Wecht's 2012 report labeled it as strongly suspicious of homicide. Larry Krasner is the Philadelphia district attorney in 2018 of Pennsylvania and formerly represented the Greenbergs. That's Ellen's parents. And this is the second conflict of interest. And I'm sure that Ellen's parents would agree that it's definitely a conflict of interest that Larry Krasner did represent them in their quest to find justice for Ellen. So him being the Philadelphia district attorney was definitely one of the other conflict of interest that forced them to send this case to the next county over. So in 2017, Philadelphia voters elected Larry Krasner as district attorney, and he took office in January of 2018. During his first term, he supported victims, he has exonerated the innocent, and he has held police accountable, reduced future years of incarceration and supervision while helping to drop jail population. He has focused on the most serious crimes in Philadelphia while working with leaders to address the grassroots causes of violence. So in 2018, the Greenbergs contacted the DA's office to see if their old lawyer would reopen Ellen's case. Krasner referred the matter to the state attorney general's office in February 2018 to avoid the appearance of conflict of interest. And unfortunately, Josh Shapiro, being the attorney general, has definitely agreed with the police department that this was not a murder, unfortunately. And just to mention another person in this case, Philip Hanlon, the security guard, who was said to have accompanied Samuel Goldberg up to the apartment, has said that he never, ever accompanied Samuel to the apartment, which is a big deal in this case, that he was not there. Let me tell you a little bit about Josh Shapiro, the Attorney General of Pennsylvania. And he is a candidate for the governor of Pennsylvania in the upcoming election in November. In January 2021, Josh was sworn for his second term as Attorney General, and he continues to stand up for Pennsylvania and take on big fights and deliver results. And just as a side note, the Attorney General's office agreed with the blank determination, but in July of 2022, the AG's office kicked the case back to Philadelphia. So let me just read that statement to you guys. And this is according to the news, ABC News 6 in Pennsylvania, and I will read that statement to you. The Office of Attorney General has referred this case back to Philadelphia District Attorney's Office Pursuant to Pennsylvania law, our office performed an exhaustive review and conducted new forensic analysis, which has been shared to the extent permitted under Pennsylvania law. Unfortunately, after 4 years of work, new expert testimony and information has been publicly alleged but withheld from our investigators, and new accusations of a conflict of interest have been made against our office. Building public trust in the criminal justice system is a core priority for the Office of Attorney General, and a primary purpose of case conflict referrals is to help law enforcement avoid simply the appearance of a conflict, so the public has full faith in the outcome of criminal investigations. While the Office of Attorney General does not have an actual conflict in this manner, circumstances beyond our control have created the appearance of a conflict, and our involvement is no longer serving one of the primary purposes of the district attorney's original conflict referral. As a result, we believe it is in the best interest of the public for this case to be referred to another office. Therefore, we are sending this case back to the Philadelphia District Attorney's Office so that it may be referred to another county pursuant to Pennsylvania law. We wish Ellen's family nothing but the best, and our office regrets that despite our exhaustive work, our additional efforts have not brought more closure to the questions around her death. So guys, thank you so much for listening today. I hope that this sheds some light on some of the key players and also some of the updates in the Ellen Greenberg case as it has evolved over the past few years, and I hope to do more updates on this and hope for justice for Ellen's family and more updates for anyone following this case. Thank you so much for watching.